surprise you with this one, but why does our symbol mean blood? I'd like you to take you.
That wasn't on the list.
I'd like to take you through why our symbol means blood, particularly for our Asian community who always ask this question: do you know what the symbol means? And explain to the folks in the community how this project came about.
Okay, a little backstory to this question. So it turns out that the logo symbol for Mochimo is a little bit off-putting to people who speak languages that are derivative of Chinese kanji. If you're a Japanese-speaking person or a Chinese-speaking person, when you look at our symbol, the thing that jumps out at you is the little stylized M in the middle, which is the kanji character for blood or ki, depending on how you interpret it. So, rightly, they ask this question: why does your coin mean blood? And in fact, by the way, they call it. I am reliably informed. They call it in China blood coin. And with some degree of affection or disdain, I'm not really sure which, but it definitely catches people's eye, which was entirely my intent. It's entirely marketing ploy. No, that's not true. Okay, so here's the real story behind the blood coin. The reason why Mochimo exists is that we have, by we I mean me and a couple of people who started a nonprofit a few years ago. We have a need to provide some life-saving services to people who are suffering from addiction disorders that are often fatal, particularly people who are dealing with the opioid crisis. And before I created Mochimo, I created something called Safe Exchange Tampa, which is a nonprofit that distributes Narcan, which is an opioid agonist. We distribute it on the streets for people to use when they're around somebody who's having an overdose, and it's a nasal spray. It's actually quite expensive, but it's the difference between life and death. People use these things when somebody's having an overdose, and within a minute, it's managed to stop it and bring them back to life. So since we started Mochimo, we have over 160 reported overdose reversals. That's just what's been reported back to us from that work. So I envisioned Mochimo as a vehicle for funding the nonprofits that I run. We also run Period Poverty Florida. Period Poverty Florida is aimed at providing menstrual supplies in public schools first, and later to the indigent and homeless populations, right? So there's another tie-in with blood there. The idea that there are little girls that miss school because they get their period and don't have menstrual supplies. So that's probably not a question or an answer you were expecting to hear on a cryptocurrency-related
forum.
Forum, whatever you want to call it. So bottom line is, it's so that we can save lives. That's why I'm doing this. The